Yes, people, welcome into the first official pre-match pump up here on We Are Tottenham TV. I'm so humbled and delighted to be with all of you, and I'm also humbled and delighted to be with these three fine folk that I call my Spurs brethren. Kate, welcome in. Obviously, you're not brethren, but you're still brethren to me. But good morning from El Paso, Texas. How are you doing this fine day? Tottenham play football finally. We had to suffer all weekend. But I'm here with Kate, Jim, and Nick. But Kate, first tell me, how are you feeling today?
Do you know what? I'm so bloody excited. It feels like such a long time since we've had Spurs playing. We had the Euros, and then that gap between the Euros and the Premier League seems to have been about 6 months long. I can't wait. I'm just so excited. I don't even know how to speak today. I can't wait to that kick off and to see what happens, to see how we play. And yeah, I'm buzzing.
I'm buzzing too. And you know what? I figured, why not let's get Jim in here, because when I speak to Jim, I can't speak to Jim without getting extra hype about Tottenham Hotspur. So my dreams, when I'm with Jim, he makes me feel comfortable about dreaming big. He makes me feel comfortable about dreaming about glory. So what better way to kick off a season with obviously one of my favorite people to hype me up going into anything. Jim, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, Jacob. You well?
Yeah. Hey, no complaints over here. I'm
Jacob,
doing
if you're going to
fantastic.
support Spurs, you have to believe. You have to believe you're going to win trophies. What's the point of supporting them if you don't believe? And I've got my lucky shirt on, Jacob. We've never, ever lost when I wore this shirt.
You've never worn it before.
That's what I said. We've never lost.
Hey, well, he didn't lie. That's the key there. He wasn't telling an infactual statement. Big up, Jim. We got the lucky shirt on. You know what? We've never lost when I've worn this shirt either. This is an old keeper's kit that I got when I was supporting my man Hugo. And I thought, I was actually going to wear the one that Kate's wearing, and I was actually thinking about wearing the one that Nick is wearing. Nick, I love the old away top from last season, one of my favorite away tops. But how are you doing? First game of the season, hanging out, first pre-match pump up here.
The anticipation has been building and building. I mean, preseason is okay, and we feel like, we got a little bit of the grit in our teeth, but now it's time to just dig up the dirt in the pitch and rub it all over your face, because it's the first game of the season, man. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I got high expectations. I got a real quick question for Jim, man. Are you in the same place as Kate right now, or did you rent a private studio somewhere?
No, she's up, I'm down.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well,
I'm scared to go up, because when I go up, she pushes me down.
Oh yeah, that's how the arm got hurt the last time.
Well,
shout out the Wi-Fi for being able to support both of y'all live streaming at the same time. That's pretty nice. I thought the Wi-Fi was pretty bad out there in the UK. Sometimes when I watch other people's live streams, but hey, we're here now. We're live and direct. Y'all are here in the channel, in the chat. So do me a favor, hit a like on the video. It's free. It does wonders for We Are Tottenham TV, and we're going to take you right up until the watch along kicks off right here on this very channel. So make sure you stick around. I'm just here to help get things going. So Kate, I want you to help me get things going. Lineups are going to come out very, very soon. I think the first 5 names on the team sheet, we're comfortable saying we all know who they're going to be, right?
Yeah.
Vicario, Pedro Porro, Christian, Cuti, Romero, World Cup champion, 2-time Copa America champion, lest I continue. Mickey Van de Veen, the new hottest thing to hit Amsterdam since the red light district. And then we got the best left back in the league, Destiny Ugodi, who I call him. Some will say his government name is Udogi, but to me, he's the GOAT, so he's Ugodi. I think those 5 names are pretty set in stone. Now, there was, Dan Kilpatrick tweeted yesterday saying that Destiny is fit, ready to go, even though he did have a very short preseason with us. Are you concerned at all about those first 5 names? I'm concerned about the names that follow those, because this is where the question marks come in. I think really Son and Solanke, I feel comfortable saying. Madison is where I start getting a little murky. What about you? Who else is a surefire name on the starting 11 for you?
Well, first of all, I'm not concerned about Ugoti, because if he says he's ready, he's ready. So I'm not concerned about that. See, I've predicted Madison will have the game of his life tonight. First time against Leicester since he moved. I think we might see the best of Madders tonight. However, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Bergvall start. I think he's been a revelation in pre-season, and I think he deserves some minutes. Sonny, is going to start. Solanke, I assume Kulu will get his place back. I'm thinking start, maybe Archie Gray starting as well in midfield, with Basuma being a very naughty boy. I think it's a whole can of worms.
Naughty indeed.
Indeed. So it'd be interesting to see.
It was a self-incrimination. That's the worst part for me. It's very disappointing, because the little glimpses I saw of preseason, I said, okay, Basuma looks comfortable turning on the ball, pushing forward up with the ball at his feet, which is what we've been really so lacking if you look at the latter part of the season when he was healthy anyway. I don't know. So I'm very disappointed in the players, specifically for what we're going to be missing, because I thought that there was actually going to be something good coming from I thought it was going to be his best season yet. And
Yeah.
it's not gotten off to the start that anyone would have hoped for. But
I tell you, man, the first thing my wife said was when I showed her what the deal was with Basuma is that's a cry for help right there. You know, because why? You know, like
no, but that's a good point. And I tried to be rational with my take. Like, as much as it upset me and disappointed me, it's like I couldn't help but immediately think about Dele Alli. The same guy also was using those balloons and was really struggling mentally and personally. So I didn't want to just kick him out in the rain. I was like, I'm not the guy that really this Jacob guy needs to leave the live. Big up Tony. Well, unfortunately for you, Ben and Sim asked me to do this all season long, so I'll be right here. Nick will be right here. If you don't like Americans, that's your small mind allowing you to feel that way. So I would say expand your mind, open that third eye, my friend, and you will be okay. But same lines for Basuma as well. Maybe he does need just a little bit opening that third mind and realize you're 28 years old and it's time to start acting like a grown-ass adult and stop acting like a little kid. Because to me, that's like a kid in high school experimenting with stuff, trying to have a good time and laugh. To me, the season started 7 days from when he was doing that. No excuses for me. But Jim, let me ask you, what do you think about this midfield specifically? Because I feel like that's where most of the question marks are.
Well, I think we're being a bit harsh on Madders because we know what he can do, and last season he got the bad injury, and then he never really got over that. Did he? After that he was playing up and down. So I think this season's going to be a big season for him, massive season. Basuma, I mean, I don't know what to say there. So I'm like you, Jacob. I don't throw people under the bus, you know, but he needs to be sorted out massively. So the club need to sort him out. It looks like they're sorting him out. I watched Angie's interview, and he said he's getting the help he needs. So, but I'd like to see Bergville in there today, for sure.
Well, the lineups are actually officially out. I'm going to pull this up and also say thank you very much to Alex from Come On You Galapagos Islands. Big up to the Galapagos Islands out there. Says Tony has to go. Get out of here. Tony has to go. Where's Tony? But big up. Is he talking about Ivan Tony? I don't know what he's talking about.
No, he's talking about Tony, who just said that you've got to go.
Oh,
hey, thank you for that. That's an Arsenal fan even sticking up for me. Come on now, Alex. Get in. I love to see it. And look, the lineup is out, so I'm just going to read this off real quick, and I want to get y'all's immediate reaction. So, as we mentioned, those 5 names are solidified in there: Vicario, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van de Veen, Destiny Ugodi, Papa Matessar, Bentancur, and Madison round out the midfield. So it's Sar, Bentancur, and Madison, which was what I predicted yesterday personally, because I thought that Ainge would kind of go with really the safest bet and not throw Bergvall into the deep end. But I personally wanted to see Bergvall thrown in, just like UK. In the front 3 there is Brennan Johnson on the right, Solanke through the middle, and Hyung Min Son as our captain on the left-hand side, where I like to see him. Any surprises there for you, Jim? Anyone that you no, Nick? Go ahead, Jim.
If you look at the way Ange has been picking the team last season, that's about right, and he's going to put Solanke in there for sure. So that doesn't surprise me, that team at all, Jacob.
Yeah, it was pretty much what I thought it was going to be, and it's safe in a lot of places. I think everybody's big question that I heard over the last 24 hours was Johnson or Kulu on the right. I think that this particular type of match against Leicester, because we know Johnson has to start producing, this is the best time to keep him out on the pitch, hope he gets better, because he's got to do it the beginning couple of matches, or we got to make a change without a doubt. So, don't chop and change from what you've been practicing over the last couple of preseason matches. I'm not surprised it's Johnson on the right of it.
What about you, Kate? Kulu. I mean, I see the chat. Don't worry. I'm very active here on the channel. I will see what y'all say in the chat. Don't worry. But a lot of shock there. Kulu, hands down the best player in the preseason by a large extent of the imagination. Are you shocked and surprised? For me, I didn't want to see Brennan Johnson start, but that is a name Ainge Postecoglou has attached himself to. So I'm kind of not surprised. I see why he did it, but to me, I think Kulu deserved it. I don't know. Where are you at, Kate?
Do you know what the thing is with Kulu, right? I think it's unfair that he isn't starting because he was so good in pre-season. But he was so good in pre-season because he played down the middle. So maybe Ange has left Kulu on the bench to bring in for Solanke if it's not working, and maybe put him back in the middle because he was brilliant in that position in pre-season. I mean, Johnson again. We got to play him because he's our player and we paid a lot of money for him. But for me, that's the weakest link on that sheet. But who else have we got? That's the thing. I don't like Kulu on the wing, so Johnson makes sense.
Yeah, and that is true. You know, I was very much hoping for an Odebear, but I think there was an issue with the work permit. He had it for the championship. He didn't have a Premier League work permit of someone. I think y'all would be better equipped to tell me because here in America, you're good to. They'll hire you and they'll let you work on the same day that they hire you here. So it's interesting the difference how.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, it was a work permit thing, man. But I don't think we would have saw him start with that at all. I think that Ange's got to try to get the most out of Johnson that he can because I think time's running out with people's patience on Johnson. So, it's either now or never for him. And Odegaard's waiting there in the wings, As far as Kulu on the right goes, man, I mean, I thought he was great. And don't get me wrong, I really like Kulusevski, and I want him on this team. But we know the big show right now is Solanke. We got to see what he can do. We got to see how he works with Son. And I don't know how many people have really been satisfied with him going down the right. As good as he was in the preseason, come on, man. In that Bayern match, he scored twice, but he gave up at least 3 guaranteed shooting positions. When he was getting down the byline, playing from the right, he got down to the byline, and at least twice he was taking forever to make a decision on what to do. They got the ball taken away from him. That is the stuff that frustrates people that I think he's going to have to work out of his game. And maybe just as, when the pressure's on, he will. But right now, I like the front line the way it is to see what they can do, and let him come in and make an impact.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, Jim, with this lineup, does it change the way you're feeling? I'm asking you this specifically. I think you know why. Does this change give you more confidence, less confidence going into today's match?
Do you know what, Jacob? When you just put the lineup up, I thought to myself about last season, how so many games went, we lost our way, and this is practically the team that when we was losing our way last season. So hopefully the work on the training field's been taken in by the players, and they're learning his system because it is practically the team apart from Solanke. So but I'm still confident, Jacob. This is going to be a nice run out for him.
I agree with you. Now, I'm going to show this and see if it changes how Kate feels going into today's match. This is Leicester's starting lineup. Now, they did sign, I believe, Bobby de Cordova-Reid on a free. I'm not sure if they paid a transfer fee, but I actually had forgotten about that bit of news. But there's a name right there in the middle of their lineup, and it's Mr. Harold Winks, number 8. And it's, I would say, returning to the lane, but we are at the King Power Stadium, so technically we're going into his new Fox's den. But they've got Hermanson in goal, Justin Vestergaard, and I do like seeing Face there in the back line. That'll give me some hope that Solanke's definitely going to get that hat trick I've been predicting for. Christensen on the left back, Winks, Buenonote, and Alfred Ndidi in the midfield. They've got Bobby de Cordova-Reid, Fatawu, and Jamie Vardy makes his illustrious return to the Premier League. Does Vardy scare you still? Are you... He loves a goal against us.
I thought he was going to be out. I'm surprised to see him.
He's the captain. He's everything to them.
He doesn't scare me at all. He'd scare me if I had a load of scrap metal laying around that he might steal it off the drive, but that's about as far as it goes with Jamie Vardy. I've got to just go back to that Spurs team and just say how amazing Solanke looks in that graphic, like some sort of Superman or something. I mean,
he does look fantastic. You are absolutely
that's
right.
a great picture. I mean, to be fair, Leicester. I mean, that Winks looks good. I think we should possibly sign him. I think he's quite a decent little player.
I heard something about him. I heard a little bit about
him. I heard he tore it up at the Bernabeu, a few years back. What a guy. Man of the match.
When I look at that team, it looks like a championship team to me. I don't want to have to eat my words later, but, they've got... Indeed, he's not bad. The Cordova-Reid's not bad. Vestergaard's not bad, but there's no one there where I think, oh, he worries me. Even Vardy's about 64 now, so
Yeah, he gets his pension next year.
Exactly. So yeah, no, not particularly worried from that lineup.
Well, I was going to say that there's not much that they could have gone with that would worry me personally. Now I'm looking at their bench and there's a couple names in there like Hamza Chowdhury. He's not an attacker, but I think he's a decent player.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't really see much threat. This is Nick, surely don't call me Shirley. This should be a match in which we go out there and just completely dominate, right?
I mean, I can't believe I'm seeing Ricardo still on there, man. Is he still playing for Leicester? I mean, he's got a worse.
He's on the second name on the reserves there.
To Neto, without a doubt, man. But I caught a little bit of Leicester in the preseason, and man, there's a reason why their fan base is not very happy right now. That back line is very, very vulnerable, especially to our type of play, man. We should be able to cut right through that.
Steve Cooper. We know he's going to just sit back in a low block, allow us to do our horseshoe Hotspur, and force us to be creative. Mm-hmm. Are we going to do that is my question.
Yeah.
My answer to my own question would be, I hope we figured it out. But if it's the same Tottenham of last season, we might find ourselves in that little bit of, all right, what are we doing here? And we're just shuffling it back left and right. And then eventually that you get caught in a mistake. Now, I don't think Vardy's going to beat us on the counter necessarily with Mickey Van de Veen and Cuti Romero back there. But Bobby De Cordova-Reid is a guy with pace who can get in behind. Now, if he can shoot it accurately, you could flip a coin and probably figure that one out. But I just are you worried about Steve Cooper's tactics going into this, Nick?
We've seen a lot of them so far, and no, not really. I think that this is a worse team than what he was working with at Forest, frankly. As far as his ability to hold that back line steady. Vestergaard, sure, is he's an old school defender, but he's kind of like a giant, red oak standing there. I just don't see them having the aggression that it's going to take. You could stand and stay in a bunch in the back and just try to push our defenders out, but our attackers out. But we have to be. This is where Ange has to have developed our wing play a little bit more, a little bit more creative, not just do the horseshoe pass and hope Madison weaves his way around in there. There's got to be another answer there. I don't see why, with who we have available, why we can't break through that line. And if it has to come to the half where it's 0-0 and you got to start making changes and putting the youngsters in just to come up with something else, I think it's going to be a damning indictment on our more senior players. But if we do that, I'm even more confident that we can break the low block.
Well, this has nothing to do with breaking a low block, but I did want to make sure I shout out this man specifically because Ben Kaufman's been a member for 36 months over here on WeAreTottenham TV using his 36-month member chat. Now, my simple mathematics says that's 3 years on the dot of supporting this fantastic channel that we all love. Says 36 months supporting the boys, time for 36 more. You know what I'm hoping? We've got about 3 to 6 trophies within that next 36. So talk to me nicely, Ben. Good to see you in the house as always. Big up to Ben Kaufman. Look, I don't know what's stopping us from putting a 5-0 up there. Am I crazy in believing that we should just go out there and put up 5-6 on them?
No,
Jim, you said no.
No, definitely not. I'm expecting 4 upwards. Definitely.
Okay.
Well,
do we concede one, though? I'm saying we concede at least one.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to, if the Cooper's plan, and it probably is to just sit as tight as possible and hope for the best. Hold on with dear life, cross his fingers, and just hope that the balls just keep going into defenders' heads. We're going to have to be real brave if that's the case. We're going to have to get everybody up front. And Van de Ven's going to have to really put on the afterburners if they try to sling one over the top to Vardy. He doesn't have the pace. Van de Ven can catch him, but we're going to have to be real brave if it's going to be just, park the bus fest.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And we're going to really rely on that creativity. I believe from Madison is where we're going to hope that comes from. Now, I saw this comment here from Stock Crow. Big up to you, my friend. Says, I think it makes it clear that Kulu will no longer be playing on the flanks, but surely he should have started over Matters. Kate, again, Kulu had a fantastic preseason. Madison left a lot to be desired, preseason specifically. But Is this one of those based on merits? Why do you think I've been seeing there's a theme in the comments. There's a lot of people not happy with Kulusevski being left out. They're saying it's an indictment on Ainge. This is horrible from Ainge, and it's just what could be the thought process there? Do you think?
Well, first of all, if Kulu had started, there'd be people screaming it should have been Maddison. So, you know, he's on a good hiding for nothing, whatever.
Fair.
But I just think
Very fair.
this is the first time Maddison is going to play against the team that he played for all those years since they were relegated. So I would think Madders has probably gone to Ange and said, look, I need this. I want to play against them. And Ange has probably said, well, look, I'm going to give you 50 minutes or however long. You know, Bergvall, again, fantastic pre-season, but he's on the bench. So I think people, you know, just need to calm it down a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, Ange knows what he's doing. You know, people say he doesn't, but he does. He's been successful everywhere he goes. You don't overnight become a crap manager. So, you know, it's just you've got to put your trust in him. And if he says that he wants Madders to start, Madders starts.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because Ainge actually, I believe there was a quote yesterday or maybe the day before. I found it yesterday about Ainge talking about going into his second season, his expectations, the thoughts that and pressures he's applying to himself into his second season. And he is saying it's not about continuing to build this or that. It's about going and competing right now that I'm in my second year. You've been known that I've done that in my career, and that's what he says. So I do like that. Also, I do like Fifth Elemental in the house with the super chat says, come on, you Spurs from Texas. Yeehaw, baby. Come on now. Saddle them cows up. You better put them out in the pasture already because it is about noon over here in El Paso. So we're doing just fine. But look, I want to pivot.
Can I just add one thing? Sorry. Can I just add one thing that I've just remembered? Also, we've been moaning like last year that there's no competition for places. How nice is it now that we're saying there's Madders, Kulu, or Bergvall that could all start? Do you know what I mean? So this is what we wanted.
And that is a good point. And I did want to actually speak about that. So now that you brought it up, that's a good point. I'm going to read off the names here on the bench. And let's think the last time that we've had some of these names that we would have liked to see. Like, so we've got Brandon Austin, Jed Spence, Ben Davies. Now, those three aren't getting me up out of my seat. All right. Necessarily. Jed Spence has been doing well. I think there's been good indications coming out of his side and Ainge's side in regards to him. So I like to see him on the bench. That's very nice. But this is where it starts to get fun. Radu Dragusin, who again said no to Bayern. He said no, thank you. All right. And then Archie Gray, who was wanted by Dortmund. By the way, you know what Dortmund likes to do with players. Buy them at young, low value, sell them for 3 to 4 times what you bought them for in 3 years when they become a household name. So big up to Archie Gray. Lucas Bergvall, who also said no to Barcelona. So that's very lovely as well. Then we've got Dan Kulusevski, Timo Werner. I don't really like that one, and then there's Richarlison. So I'm out of those names, the three in the middle are the ones that make me the most excited, and that's Dragusin, Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall. No Lancashire. I think that's disappointing. I was kind of hoping to see him in and around, but I don't know whose spot he takes off of the bench because you really need 3 attackers, 3 mid, and at least 2 to 3 defenders, and one's got to be a goalkeeper. So I understand why Lancashire's not in and around, but I'll go to you first, Kate. What are the first names you want to see off this bench if we're up, if we're down, regardless of scenario? I want to see Bergvall. I want to see Gray. These are 2 guys I want to see out there, whether we're winning or we're losing. Doesn't really matter. Who is it for you that you want to see, and around when are you hoping to see them?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Bergvall brings something completely different. I'd like to see him about 65 minutes, and Gray make that change. Little bit gutted for Mikey Moore, but he is only a child. I mean, he had a fantastic pre-season, but I personally don't see Lancashire getting hardly any minutes this year. That's my personal opinion. I think Mikey Moore will. I don't think Lancashire will so much, but I agree with what you said. You know, Dragusin, Gray, Bergvall are the sort of, because they're kind of like the unknown, and you saw in pre-season the likes of Bergvall and Gray play with zero fear. They just enjoy the game, play it the way they want to play it, and it's been working. So, yeah, those 2 I'd like to see come on around 65 minutes, obviously depending on the scoreline.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, varying options for varying situations. I think that's the greatest part of when you're building a squad. That's what you want to do, right? Big up to Kaylee Davis, I believe from Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. See, I remember things. I remember names. I like to know where people are tuning in from. That's something I enjoy. That's part of the reason I got into Spurs YouTube in the first place, was I wanted to scream at people how much I love Tottenham, and I wanted people to scream at me how much they love Tottenham. And that's a beautiful thing. So big up Kaylee Davis all the way in Seattle, USA. Says, never been more excited for a match. Come on, you Spurs. Member for 31 months. Now, that's longer than every single relationship I've ever had, excluding my wife. So that's very, very nice. But look, we just hit 30 hours. There's 1,365 people here right now. So do me a favor. If you're hearing my voice right now, I need you to just look to the nearest person, animal, living specimen, and just say, come on, you Spurs, and then hit the like button. Two simple requests. Both will make you happy, and both will help Tottenham and We Are Tottenham TV. But look, there's something else I want to talk about in this forward line, and that is Dominic Solanke making his first start. I feel like is a very, very big deal. Something I very much wanted to see. Our marquee signing, you could say, record-breaking signing. Nick, for you, what is your expectations for Solanke? Mine are high, because when we initially signed him, I admit I wasn't like, this is a game changer. We're doing things. We're really pushing for things. I was like, man, but I looked into him, watched tape, and looked at the stats, and then tried to apply context to statistics, because I think context surrounding statistics are important. And, you know, the more tape I watched on him, the more I really was like, this is all out number 9, like an embodiment of a true number 9. And he could do a lot of the things that we're looking for, I think, in a number 9. So I've really warmed up to the point that I'm excited about this signing. I'm no longer apathetic. I am eager beaver, shall I say? What, Nick? Where are you at with Solanke, and what's your expectations?
I'm going to be honest, man. I used to have some kids that worked for me that were big Liverpool fans, man. And whenever Solanke was on the bench for them, I used to break on them to no end. Man. No, it was snaps galore, man. So when we first had the links, I was like, oh no, not that, because you know I'm gonna get it back from them. But the more I thought about it too, man, we got to who's the best we can get for the style that we play right now. And you know, I've been on the fence just as much. I fell off the fence many times, both sides of the fence, in the last 3 months about this question, man. And I think Solanke was the better choice than going for an Ivan Toney. And not only because of ability, but also the other factors that do play. You know, this is a team. Everybody's got to be pushing in one direction. And Toney was just too much of an unknown quantity out there. I also didn't see who we were pulling in from another country, realistically, that would have done the same job, man. Everybody's not so convinced, because it's not the sexiest name. He's not from the sexiest club, and it's a lot of money. However, you know, is there anybody else that we could have gotten for that money that would have fit the bill so well? I just don't think so, man. And Solanke obviously has a great work rate, a great attitude, and I expect him to hit the ground running, to fit in without any. He's starting today, right? We just signed him, and he's starting up front. There's no, we got to wait for him. He's got to learn the tactics, anything like that. Ange thinks he's ready to go, man. I think that in and of itself is impressive.
Big up to Arx Beats with the super chat. Says Johnson should stay benched. We need an upgrade. I think we've signed the upgrade in Odebear. Now, I know people are upset with the way I pronounce things. Again, if I call him Odebert, it's okay. If I call him Van de Veen, I say Ainge Postacoglu. I'm from the South here in America. All right. Now, Nick don't have the same little twang and twist to his words because he's from the North. He's a Yankee. So when you call me a Yank, I take offense to it because I'm not a Yankee. I'm a Southerner. All right. We got warm, gentlemanly love to share. Yeah. Come on now. Big up RX Beats, big supporter of all the channel. Big up all the way to Chicago. I see y'all checking in from where you're at. Make sure you let me know where you're at. I like to see where everyone's listening from. But Nick, you made a good point in regards to what could we have gotten for that money. And this is a lot of the reason why I was trying to apply context to things, because the names that were being thrown around outside of Toney, outside of Solanke, Victor Gyökeres, Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord, whom, by the way, was priced at, I believe, 100 million last October, and now Nottingham Forest just bid 25 million euros for him, not pounds, euros. So it's around 21 million pounds that they bid on him. an 80 million price drop in less than 12 months time. And this was one of the names that were linked with that was getting me excited. Oh, I like the profile of that player. But again, there's so many question marks that come in when you talk about profiles outside of the Premier League. Dominic Solanke scored goals in the Premier League versus who? Opponents in the Premier League. Not Feyenoord versus PSV. Not Feyenoord versus Go Ahead Eagles. Not Sporting Lisbon versus Benfica. You know, and shout out both those clubs, but Benfica's running a scam camp, and I know that's what they're doing out there, selling those players for that absorbent amount of money and the amount of quality they're getting. And look, I mean, legitimately, we're talking about players killing it in the Portuguese league. Darwin Núñez did that. He got sold for upwards of 90 million to Liverpool, and they want him gone. And then we're like, oh, why didn't we get Victor Gyökeres? And it's this thing. It's like, he didn't even hit Darwin Núñez numbers in that league. And we're expecting him to come into the Premier League and be that guy we can rely on. Now, a not so great side, some would say average Bournemouth side. I saw that. Some would say average Bournemouth side. Dominic Solanke was a staple in it, playing 33 plus games in both seasons that they've managed to stay up. Granted, I tried to apply he only got 6 goals in that first season and they finished 11th. Was he really a big attribute or asset to that? I don't think so. But again, that's just numbers. When you look at the tape, yes, he was. The link-up play, the pass before the assist, the hold-up play, the disruption, the ability to create, the pressing that he has, let alone, I think was enough for Ainge and them to say, I like this guy. So by all intents and purposes, I'm very up on Solanke right now. So Nick, where are you at? I don't remember if you said. I probably, just been talking so long, I forgot it.
I think he was the right choice, man. And people got to understand
the right choice. Okay.
Man, all these clubs now, man. Whether you're a mid-table Prem club or a higher club in another league, everybody is doing their homework a lot better than they had in previous seasons. And pre-COVID, when people were throwing money recklessly at whoever anybody said was good, people are doing their homework a lot better because there's a lot more money at stake if you get it wrong. I think that there's going to be a lot more movement at the end of this window than there has been in the previous 2 windows, where everybody was screaming, "We're broke."
Are you believing?
We don't want to spend our money and being tight. And now everybody's been waiting to see who blinks first. It's a standoff in the transfer market, in my opinion, this year. And then the last couple of weeks, you're going to see a lot more movement than you have.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I like that it buys into the propaganda that Spurs USA was putting out on Instagram. We still have one player yet to be unlocked. He's coming. I don't know if people talking about Locatelli, talking about this and that, but either way, none of that matters because, and yes, 49 minutes, I almost said 59, 49 minutes, we are going to be kicking off. So really, I'm not concerned about that new player just yet. We still got this one. We got Everton. And then I'll be like, all right, who's the Brennan Johnson we're bringing in on deadline day? Recent history, deadline day has not been kind to us Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
I know some people like Brennan Johnson. For me, I felt like that was a rush signing. We kind of ran out of our options there and we just got it over the line. Who else was another one? Emerson Royale was another deadline day signing that we did.
We like to go for Brazilians in the last minute.
Yes, I don't know what it is.
Sissoko.
So was Rafael van der Vaart. So balance it out. Is what a ledge he was.
Well, real quick, Kate, speaking of, hey, you brought up Van der Vaart. Solanke, what are your expectations for him? Week 1, a recently promoted side. This is side he was banging goals against in the championship sides. He was banging goals against in the Premier League. Again, one of the things they hit him with is he didn't score against the big 6. Fair. But I think he can in this Tottenham side because we are not Bournemouth. All right.
Right.
Exactly. He's got better. Well, you would say he's got better players around him. I do think the wingers, Sonny not so much, but Johnson getting the ball into him is going to be really important, which is something our wingers have lacked. But then we've got this new guy coming in, big old Wilson, to hopefully fill that gap. I think he's going to be good for us. I was a lot like you. I was a bit underwhelmed and a bit meh, but started watching videos. A lot of content creators put out some excellent videos about how Solanke fits into this team, and it looks like we've made the right decision. But let's be honest. It doesn't matter who we signed. Again, you're going to get loads of people say it was bad signing and loads of people say they're pleased. It's just going to be a case of let's just wait and see. The amount of people that have written him off already and he's not even kicked a ball. I think he's going to be good for us. He's exactly what we're missing. And yeah, I'm confident he's going to score on his debut tonight.
Jim, I saved you for last for Dominic Solanke because I've been saying all week Dom Bomb hat trick. I've already labeled him the Dom Bomb. Do you have any fun nicknames for Dominic Solanke? And how many? What are we getting from him today? I'm not even gonna ask what you if you like him because I know how you feel. I know we're whenever I'm like I'm gonna ride this happy emotion that I'm feeling with Tottenham. I know that you're riding that same emotion. So in regards to Solanke, I don't even need to know how you feel about him. I just need to know what you think he's going to give us today. What are your expectations, my friend?
Well, I expect him to. I put him down for 2 on Cage Stream, but I agree with Nick. He was the perfect fit for us. There was no one else out there. I don't think there was the right striker apart from him. And I think a lot of Spurs fans are underwhelmed with him and been putting him down. Just wait and see at the end of the season. They'll all be in the mud. He's the perfect signing for us. Presses hard, can kick with both feet. He's just a phenomenal player, and I just think that for us, he's the perfect fit, 100%.
And going back to the horseshoe football, breaking the low block, I mean, he is something that we were crying out for last season when we couldn't get the job done. He is a target man. He is good in the air. I mean, that is one of the ways with personnel that Ange can get through this. It's excellent. This game and the Everton match are going to be. We're going to see how Tottenham can kick on right from those 2 matches. What was that, Jacob? Was that your Bazuma shout out?
No. I was just shouting out Chris Peters. He's a frequent on my channel over there on United Spurs of America. If you don't know, that's the channel I run, which I would appreciate any subscriptions on the road to 5K there. And also subscribe to Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, where you can catch Kate, you can catch me sometimes, you can catch Nick over on the Irish Hotspur as well, my channel, Kate's Nick, we get as much Nick as we can in our life, but he doesn't have a dedicated channel just yet. I'm saying yet because, when we win the league this year, Jim, I think Nick's going to create a channel. But that's just me.
You know what, Jacob? I would lay any sort of money down that he scores 20-plus goals this season.
I feel that as well. If he plays at least 30 Premier League matches, I think 25 GA is not out of the realm of realisticness.
He doesn't get injured either.
That's the part.
Yeah.
Don't say it. Don't
knock on some wood. Knock on some wood. Here. Superstitious people just knock on wood right now. There you go. Bang, bang, bang. I just did.
Who can actually get on the pitch for more than 30 matches in a season? Right there, that solves a lot of problems, man. The margins that we didn't get 4th on are so small that if there were just a handful more points, just 3 more goals, even if you break it down to all 38 matches, it's just one little piece would have been better if we would have had one defender to come in instead of Ben Davies for Van de Ven. If we would have had another striker up top that could hold up the ball, we would have gotten in there. These are the margins that Ange has been working on, and I think that's why I'm excited right now, because I think some of these problems have been solved. And I tell you, man, looking at that bench, what I love about that bench is that looks like the lion's share of a team that could beat the hell out of Leicester by themselves. It's been a while since I've been that confident. Even I know it's Leicester, I know they're newly promoted, et cetera, but it's been a long time since I've been as confident about a bench as that.
There are some names I don't like on there. Sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I was going to say, when was the last time we looked at a team that was out there tonight and then looked at the bench and some really good players on the bench, and you got the likes of Lancashire, Mikey Moore in the background? When was the last time we saw that at this club?
I don't think I've seen it since I've been following.
No, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
long time ago.
No, it really is. And also I would be I don't know the proper word here, but I just want to say shout out Oliver Skip, man, because he wasn't great, but damn it, did he try. He was living every one of our dreams, which was to play for your club that you love. He made over 100 appearances. Were they great? No, but I'll remember that Chelsea goal, and that's how I choose to remember him. Not the times he got turned around or gave up the ball and then clattered into the guy who he gave the ball to, because, that's just kind of what it was fun like that. But he was one of our own, man. And it's as much as I wanted Winks out of our club when we finally sold him, it was like, all right, Winks, there you go, I hope nothing but good things for you. And you won a trophy last year, so congratulations. And guess what? Leicester get a double pivot of Harry Winks and Oliver Skip, which is something I would not want personally. So I hope that they can thrive over there. That's just me. So do y'all have anything you want to say to Skip before we get into game predictions?
I said on Kane's channel today that I'm not sentimental about players. When Kane went, I was gutted. I like Kane, but he's gone. We move on. But I had a soft spot for Skip.
No, I cried. I shed a tear for Kane. I ain't gonna lie. Like Winks and Kane was different because one, I was like, get this guy gone. He doesn't deserve the number 8. And the other guy was like, I know you don't want me, but I'm still here if you do.
Yeah. Well, Skip, he ever since he was like 3 or 4 years old, always he's dreamt of playing for Spurs. Come to Spurs, was with us all them years. So it's kind of sad to see him go. But the thing is, Jacob, he needed to go for him and for Tottenham. You know, it's not right for Angie's system, and he needs to move on with his career. He's still young, so good luck to him. I wish him all the best.
Same.
Yeah, exactly,
I absolutely wish him the best.
Yeah, man. I feel bad for the guy, man. I feel terrible for him. Did
we mismanage him?
He was big. Do we all forget when we talk about Skip? Do we forget that he spent 18 months dealing with a horror injury that they thought he wasn't going to come back from? People said that with that injury that he got to the groin was the worst thing that they've ever seen on a football pitch. It was
That's a good point.
You know, this is when we wonder why he's not the same player anymore. That kind of stuff really takes it out of young professionals, man. You know,
I agree.
It saps it's everything we saw on that pitch, man. It saps his confidence, makes him feel that he's not as progressed as the other people that he was coming up with and he was toe-to-toe with in the pecking order. You know, it's a major, major setback, man. And, you know, I feel sorry for the guy, but, you know, this is the way modern, you know, in a cutthroat world, this is the way it is, man, you know?
Yeah, it is. And I think it's okay to like want separation from something while still appreciating and not disrespecting what's leaving, you know. And I think that I've really enjoyed the response for the most part from what I've seen on you know the cesspool that is Twitter. It's a lot of I hope he, you know, good luck. I bid him farewell. I said goodbye, my beautiful and reckless knight. May the night take you with fortune and love to greener pastures. So
that is
that was my dedication for, because honestly,
whenever my dog passes away, I'm gonna put that on its tombstone.
I said goodbye, my sweet reckless knight. May the night take you into good fortune. I was, you know, feeling myself this morning, like, you know, it's finally official. I've wanted this day for a long time, and I finally got it. But I still like Skip as a human being. You know, there's a human there, and I do like that guy. So just not the football player on the pitch. But before we get into predictions, got a couple super chats I want to get to, because big up the folks that are sending some money here to WeAreTottenham TV. Callum Roche says, any songs for Solanke? Anybody got a Solanke song?
Dom dom dee dom 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 Solanke. That's the one that's going round.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that. I like it. Anyone else? Nick?
Man, I don't have anything yet, man. I got something.
Dom Solanke.
All right. See, I hope they have the audio turned up in the stadium, because I know Spurs traveling fans, our Tottenham fans, we are the loudest, we are the proudest. I don't care what fucking venue we're at. We will be heard on the telly. And I love that. That's one of the things like that makes me feel connected from way over here across the pond, is hearing, you know, even when we had Harry Kane, that he's one of our own after he scored. It doesn't matter where we were playing at, the empty crates, whatever, wherever, I could hear Harry Kane songs. I could hear "Come On You Spurs." You know, these are the things. So I hope we get a good Solanke song. No one ever likes my song suggestions, so I just move on from
when we go next week, Jacob. If they're singing "Dom Dom Dee Dom," I will record it on my phone just for you.
Yeah, and then I'll play it on the channel. And I'll say, I like that. Come on now. Which, hey, y'all are going to be the good luck charm. Which I'm not going to say if. When we win today, Jim, that means you got to wear that same top next week at Everton, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. RX Beats comes in here, says, I know we aren't linked with A6, but I have a feeling regardless of the Basuma incident, we have needed an upgrade. Gomez from Wolves or Ederson from Atalanta. I haven't heard a lot about Joe Gomez. And, you know, if you remember, every time we struggled against Wolves in recent memory, Joe Gomez was a big part of that. Jim, do you think he's...
Yeah, I think
do
he's
we need a
perfect for us.
6? You like him?
I think Gomez is perfect for us. I'd love to see him come, Jacob. I really would. What is he, 23?
He's pretty young.
I think he was. I think he was first or second for tackling stats. Yeah, 100%.
He's 23. You're right.
Yeah, he's 23. So he would suit with where we're going underhands with the youngsters. 100%. I'd love to see him come in. But will they sell him?
Nick? I don't think Ederson's going to leave personally.
Right.
They got Champions League football. They just won Europa.
Yeah,
I think he's going to want to see that out at least one more year.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even heard anything about the João Gomez thing, man. Not at all. I'm sleeping on that.
That was yesterday. That was yesterday that there was some rumblings.
Locatelli, and I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
It's just we keep talking about, you know, there have been minor links here and there about people who play in that way, but I so far, and I'm not the most astute tactically, I'm going to tell you that right now. From what you get from me as far as football tactics, or just some guy, you might as well ask the guy taking tin cans out of the garbage right now what he thinks about football tactics. You get the same. But from what I've seen, you know, Ainge doesn't play with the deep lying 6, man. You know, it's a much more fluid midfield than that. Yeah. So that's why I'm not surprised that we haven't been trying to recreate Rodri in the team, you know, because I just don't think that that's the way he plays. Maybe people may think that's naive and that he should be playing that way, but, you know, I wish a lot of things would happen that don't. And that's my take.
Oh man, Nick, I'm so glad that you've agreed to be part of these things going forward, man. You crack me up. I love your sense of humor.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. But big up everybody. I still see I'm skipping forward in the chat though, because there's about 1,500 people here live right now, which is fantastic. It's actually, I've never hosted a show with this many people watching. So the fact that I haven't wet myself, I think is a dub in itself. But speaking of dubs, Kate, my darling, talk to me. What's going to happen today within that 90 minutes? What is the final score? And who is scoring the goals for you? Because we're about to end the show. So chat, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. I'm going to start looking at y'all's while the panel here tells me their score predictions. And then I'll end the show off with my score predictions. And then we'll give smooches and say goodnight. Well, not goodnight, but you know what I'm saying. But Kate, talk to me about the 90 minutes. What's your thoughts here? How is it going to look? How is it going to go? What is the end result? And who's scoring the goals, if any?
Well, I don't want to be a little like doom and gloom in any way, but I consider Leicester.
You can be however you want to be, Kate.
I consider Leicester to be one of our bogey teams. I've just looked. This fixture's produced 128 goals in 34 Premier League meetings, so it's a huge game where there's always lots of goals. I am predicting Spurs to go 1-0 down, to bring it back to 1-1, to then go 2-1 down, and to draw 2-2. That is my prediction. It's what I fancied all along. We started the season off last season with a 2-2 draw against Brentford. I think it's going to be the same tonight. I fancy Solanke to score, and I think Kulu comes on and gets the winner.
What did you say the score, Kate?
2-2.
Jacob, can you take her off?
Well, you know, the man speaketh. No, I'm just playing, Kate. You're royalty. You're royalty, Kate. Come on now. Go subscribe. Here's the link for Kate. Make sure you do subscribe to Kate. So you got us at a draw, a 2-2 draw. You know who else got us at 2-2 draws? Every rival that is what the whole world's going to be watching us right now. And I feel like they're going to be like, yeah, Kate, woohoo. And I'm going to say, no, thank you to that prediction. Jimbo, talk to me nicely. What's going to happen, my friend?
Yeah, you know what, Jacob? All the rivals are saying 2-2. It's because that's what they're wishing for. It's not what they really think. They're not being honest. You know?
I was saying 2-2 Wolves versus Arsenal yesterday. It was 2-0.
Oh, yeah, I said it's Kulusevski to get the winner. I meant to get the draw. Sorry, I got overexcited because I'm sitting next to Jacob and his positivity is coming over this way.
The radiation's emanating. I like it.
Yeah, it's coming. Sorry, Jim, carry on.
Right, I'm going to predict us to keep a clean sheet first game of the season. Right, I'm going to predict 4-0. Solanke is going to score a brace. Son's going to score one, and Johnson's going to do one of his running across the goal, little tap in. That's my prediction.
Wow.
What? So the final score is. Sorry, there's another super chat here from RXB. You said the final score is 4.
4-0. Yeah.
4-0. You know what that's gonna do, Jim? Now, a 4-0 or a 4-goal differential dub. You know what that does for Tottenham? Puts
Just
us
to the top.
right at the very
Yeah.
top, my friend. Talk to me nicely. We won the league again. This is. We did it again, baby. Nick, I do like that. Wait, real quick. Your goal scorers, Jimbo. You had Dom with a brace.
Solanke with a brace. Son to score one, coming in, putting it in the top corner, and Johnson running across goal, doing one of his little tap-ins.
Well, little tap-ins. So Sonny with 2 GA on day one. I like that. I like that. Nick, I know you're going to be talking to me nicely. RXB says Locatelli maybe reunite with Kulu, Rome, and Bentancur. Maybe RXB.
It's a nice thought, man. You know, we would have a lot of Italian speakers in the team right there, and that's a spicy meatball right there. I ain't mad at that. I think he'd be an interesting addition without a doubt, and he'd provide a little bit more of a through ball and a little bit more of an accurate and long pass threat from deep. I think we haven't really had that, and we're relying on Romero basically for that kind of thing. So we need a little bit more of that. Højbjerg wasn't really giving us that. As far as score goes, man, I'm not going to be as optimistic as Jimbo, but I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0.
I'm going to bank on a clean sheet as well, even though my gut tells me I'm lying, but my heart says clean sheet. I think we have to get at them real early. We have to press them to death right out of the box, score early. I think Dom is going to score early, but the rest of the game, he's going to put people through. He's going to put Sonny through for one, and I think it's going to be a Swedish combo off the bench in the dying embers to give the goal with Bergvall. I think Dom will still be on the pitch. I want to see this double 10 thing that Ange has been playing around with Bergvall and Kulusevski up there. I really think that there's something possible there.
Okay. I like that. I think this is going to set. I think, Kate, I'm always going to come to you first with the score predictions, because then when we round it around, by the time it comes around town, I don't even remember that Kate said we're going to draw 2-2. And I do agree. Like, I love to be as feet on the ground as possible, but there's just something about game day. I can't change the way I feel on game day. I don't care who we're playing, where we're playing, what time we're playing. I believe in my heart and my soul we can win that match. Now, long-term picture's another story, another answer, another day for that. But today, I'm saying 5-1. Why aren't we, bro? Face? Who the fuck is Face, dog? Every time I see him, he conceding goals left and right. He has more hair than he does defensive abilities, and that's their starting center back. Still,
he's a pound shot.
I expect Solanke to get a hat trick. He better be getting me double, a brace minimum, but maybe an assist. And I say, okay, that's cool too. 2 goals and an assist. Dom, talk to me nicely. Now I say Sonny better go get 1-2 GA as well, talking to me very nicely. And then why not? Just a little cherry on top, probably Timo, just to piss all the fans off. Love it. Talk to me. Timo or Brennan get that 5th one. Just to Timo come in and just do a little tap in back post, and everyone will be like, oh, now look, everyone's going to say Timo's good. And it's like, no, he just got a goal. It's like, you can hold that though. So for me, I've been saying all week, I think 4-1, but no, I've pivoted to a 5-1 because, Timo just a little cherry on top of the Sunday, and it's only Monday. So look at that. Look, this has been a fantastic first pre-match pump up. I've had a blast. There's been about 1,500 people, over 1,000 for the majority of the show, which is fantastic numbers. That is telling Ben and Sim that you do enjoy it, despite what the people early on were saying. The rest of you do love it. And if 99% love me, then you know what? I like to look at how much water I do have in my cup, as opposed to how much water is not in my cup. So thank you so much to those of you who have hit a like and a subscribe on everyone's channel. Again, I'm going to put the link for Kate and Jim. Are y'all going live at all today, tomorrow, discussing the match, anything like that?
We are back possibly tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday.
Make sure you go Click this
Yeah.
link, turn the notification bell on, and then you don't have to remember what Kate said when and what time and what, because YouTube will let you know. It's
Well, they
very
should come
easy.
there, Jacob. Just a ribber for saying 2-0 when we win 4-0, 5-1,
Hey,
or 3-0.
and when we win 6-0, go tell her everybody was wrong, but mostly you,
Hey,
because you
I'm
didn't
used
think
to
we would
being
win.
wrong.
But I think it's great because if we do disappoint, which is what the whole world's hoping happens today, Kate, you can
Yeah.
say, well, I didn't let myself get ahead. I knew that we were going to have problems. I know that there's going to be problems. That's why I can't predict a clean sheet. I just know there's going to be something that happens, and it might be Winks scoring it for all. He may get 2 goals, all for all I know, because that's just how
Yeah.
Tottenham. The story's always fun like that. And, you know, football's a humbler. Ask Cucurella how he feels about it. All summer he's singing, Cucurella, come de paella. But guess what he wasn't saying? He was saying, Holland, help me up and stretch out my hammy. I'm cramping. And Holland walked past him laughing because he said that Holland trembles with Cucurella. But he wasn't trembling. He was laughing at your ass on the ground. So football comes at you fast. And I think that might happen again. So Winks will get some kind of revenge. But that's why I'm like, so should Madison. He should get 3 assists. I'm hoping a hat trick of assists for Madison. Delusional, maybe. I don't care. It's game day, baby, and you got to talk to me nicely. So that's going to do it here for the first official pump up. If you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe. Make sure you tell Ben and Sim that you enjoyed this, or you could just subscribe to Kate with Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, myself at United Spurs of America, and that'll also say that you liked it. And you'll help us help each other, help Tottenham, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you.
Come on.